Xavian Lee is currently putting up tour dates for Florida, and it's clearly not working for the Gators right now, this transfer portal edition. Right now, he's posted games so far of 9 points, 5, 0, 5, and 4. One 20-point game against Providence in which they won. But listen to some of these attempts: 1 for 10, 1 for 6, 0 for 6, 1 for 6, 2 for 13, 5 for 17 the first night against Arizona. And truth be told, I never understood, in my opinion, I never understood why he was such a coveted player out of the portal. I understand he put up numbers at Princeton, but if you look at the schedule and the teams in which they played against, the caliber was never there. And even Billis on the call tonight for the Florida Duke game said that he upped his production against the better teams. But if you go back and look at their schedule at Princeton last year, they did play Rutgers, but other than that, they played no Power Five conference schools. So what I think the issue is here is that you are seeing a player who is talented, who is gifted, and who can perform at that level, but it's harder to do it on a night to night basis. And that is the difference between these mid majors or Ivy Leagues when they go to these power conferences where you don't know for sure if that is going to translate over. And Florida has played an extremely difficult schedule in comparison to what Xavian Lee is used to at Princeton. Maybe he can put you a 20 to 30 point night once every month against a team like they're playing right now. But when you're playing this type of caliber opponent on a week to week basis, it's a lot harder to conjure that stuff up consistently, which is why certain players are so coveted in the portal. Guys like Elijah Martin for Florida last year. And so you look at who they've played this year. They've played Arizona. They've played Florida State. They've played Miami. They've played Providence. They've played Duke. He's played more Power Five schools in the last 2 weeks than he has in his first 2 years of college basketball. And so that's what I think is the issue here. And Florida had a huge drop off from the guard play. And when you lose guys like Walter Clayton and Elijah Martin, and then not even those two, but the two players off the bench for them as well, you have to understand that I think Boogie Flan could have been the second option if Florida wanted to compete for a Final Four and win a national championship and be that caliber team like they are this year, or be that caliber team like they were last year this year. Their front court is the best in the country. We know that. We know how good that group is. And you saw out of Boogie Flan tonight against Duke where he played a lot better. They didn't even play Xavian Lee in the final stretch. He's becoming unplayable for them. And that's where it's like, I get Walter Clayton and Elijah Martins don't just grow on trees, but I think you got a second guy in Boogie Flan. Had you been able to get a top tier point guard or a top tier guard in the country with those front courts, Florida's a legit national championship team again. Right now, I think their ceiling is Sweet 16. Maybe they can get to Elite Eight. I was really impressed by what they did tonight against Duke, but they have the type of team that matches up the best against Duke, more so than most teams in the country. They have bigs. Duke's one issue is that they don't have depth at the big spot. But then when Patrick Ngongba plays like he did tonight, and Malik Brown is able to play the versatile style of defense that he is able to, they don't get in foul trouble. They're able to play those guys a lot. They survive. They figured out a way to survive, and that's where I think with this Duke team, if Florida can't beat them with that type of front court, it's gonna take a special night from a team to beat them. I just don't. At this point right now, that to me was the test meter. Could you handle the best front court in the country with your lack of big depth? And they did. It was close, but they did. They held up. They lost the rebounding battle. They lost the offensive rebounding battle, but it still wasn't enough to beat them because how talented Boozer is, because how versatile Brown is, because Ngongbo was so great defensively with 5 blocks tonight. Really scary what Duke could be. Florida, I'm sorry if the Xavier Lee experiment is not seeming to work. And truth be told, it's probably only going to get harder. There's no, like, I mean, even against Merrimack, he put up 0 for 6 and 0 points in 22 minutes. And so tonight he played 26 minutes and didn't play down the stretch for Florida. 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. He's shooting 21% right now for the season from the three. He just doesn't look comfortable. The physicality is different. The turnovers are up. It's tough. It's a tough stretch for him. And Florida fans, get in the comments. Did you feel like it was going to work? Did you guys always kind of feel like, well, maybe we have some questions? We know how physical and tough the SEC is, and Florida hasn't even gotten to SEC play yet. But Duke, Miami, Florida State, Arizona, those are a lot of power conference schools for a player who's been at Princeton for the last couple of years and not played against that on a night to night basis. It's a big difference. It's kind of like when older players can't put the performance of 40-point nights every other night anymore, but they can get you every now and then, right? And that's kind of what it feels like with Xavian Lee, where he can put a performance like that together every now and then. I'm not saying because he's old, I'm just saying the physicality, the different style of play. I can give you that every now and then, but ask him to be consistently a 15 to 20 point scorer a night at Florida with this conference and this non-conference schedule, I think it's just too difficult. Get in the comments, let me know. Like the video, share, subscribe, enter your name in the portal. Florida fans, let me know what you guys think for what you guys are going to be this season. We'll see you guys on the next one.